Okay guys, we're gonna go ahead and learn how to mat your work. Once it's been printed out off the big printer, you've got your Photoshop collage or your mini project or any number of printed works for DID, and we do have some supplies you're gonna need so that you can mat this and make it look really nice. You're gonna need your work, so you'll find that on the table that we've laid it out on. You're gonna need a pair of scissors, you're gonna need a roll of tape, and we have all of that over on a counter for you. And then you're also gonna need a mat, and a mat is this sort of pre-cut, that's upside down, right? No, it's okay. So this sort of pre-cut window that has like a frame, it's a cardboard frame. You're gonna go ahead and grab one of these. You need to make sure the size matches up with your work. So make sure you're grabbing the right size. We'll tell you what size that is when the project starts. So the first thing you're gonna do when you get this is you're gonna find a space to work. You can set some things aside for the moment. And with your mat, step one, go ahead and just kind of use some scissors to slice the top of the plastic open so you can cut your mat out. Be careful not to cut the mat itself. I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna just kind of slit across the top so that now my mat just slides right out. Take the plastic off, and I'm gonna set that plastic not just anywhere, but I'm gonna set it aside for a moment. And then this little piece of paper that comes out of it, that can get trashed. So I'm gonna recycle that. So I'm just gonna kind of get rid of it and make sure it gets in the recycling. Again, if we find supplies left out, trash left out, it's not a good thing. So go ahead and make sure you're putting things back appropriately. So what I need to do now is I've got my mat and I've dealt with all my trash, and then I've got my piece of art. And so what I wanna do is I wanna figure out how this is gonna fit inside my mat. So if I lay this on top of it, it fits pretty nicely. Now there's a little bit of wiggle room. Some part of your image is gonna get cut off because the mat is slightly smaller than the picture itself. And it's hard to remember where to place this. So here's what I like to do. I like to go ahead and flip this upside down so it's face down and I can only see the white back. Then I'm gonna grab some tape and I'm gonna take about a 1-inch segment of tape, not a ton, and tear that off. I'm gonna put that here on the diagonal. So it's kind of on the diagonal on all 4 corners of my piece. And this can be pretty roughly cut out, and that's fine. I don't need a ton of tape, but again, maybe an inch and a half piece of tape, and then it goes on all 4 corners. So now it's stuck to the table, which is not good. So I need to flip it back over. I lay it out. My tape is sticky up. There's tape that is sticky facing up, which I need to make sure, I just need to make sure that I'm not getting anything stuck to that. But that's really helpful so that then when I go in and I put my mat down on my image and I get it kind of set up exactly placed where I want it, then once I'm happy, I can set it down and I can just kind of press, and now the image is gonna stick to the back of the mat without shifting. So that way I know it's where I want it to be. Now that's not a very good tape job. As you can see, it's really flimsy. So I'm gonna flip it over now, and I'm gonna start to press this tape down a little bit more, make sure it's nice and smooth and flat. And then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna tape all 4 sides so it's fully taped in. Now I can take a piece of tape, it doesn't have to cover all of it, but most of the length. And I'm gonna make sure it's about half on the paper and half on the cardboard mat board. So I get it about half on, half off. I'm just gonna press that down with my fingers so it's nice and holding well. And I'm gonna do that on all 4 sides. And I like to go opposite. So if I did this side here, I'm gonna go to the opposite side, put it about half on, half off, press it down. Same thing, then I'll do the other 2 sides. It's half on, half off. Press it down. Half on, half off. Press it down. And it's taped on all 4 areas pretty well. So then if I flip it over, it's nice. Oop, you can't really see that, but it's in there really nicely. It looks great. I don't see any white showing on any of the edges from my image. I do have a white, what's called a bevel. It's kind of this little angled area, but that's a really nice frame. It's a great piece. Now, a couple things, you're not done yet. Remember this plastic sheet from before? We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna use this and we're gonna put the mat inside of it so that you can get this home safely. So just slide it right back in. And now it's in this nice kind of protective sleeve so you can take it around with you as you go about your day. If you're in the cafeteria, somebody spills something, this is nice and safe, or whatever, if it's raining outside. but then this is good to go. Scissors, tape, all this stuff needs to go back where you found it. You should leave no trace of yourself back here. So even though we think you're great and we're glad that you matted, we should never be able to tell that you were back here once you leave. You should clean up entirely so that it looks like you were never back here in the first place. So enjoy matting. It's a really nice way to make your work look professional, very presentable. It's a great gift for parents. They love this kind of stuff. It really elevates the way your work looks. So thanks so much and good luck.